Have you been diagnosed with a disease like Parkinson's? Today, my guest says exercise can be a great resource for hope and strength on this episode of Coffee with Tea. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, Tonia and Cheryl, and I'm excited because we're going to talk about hope today and how you can change your future by what you do right now. So, without further ado, I'd like to bring on Miss Cheryl Wortley, who will teach us how to. I say, forgive me. We practiced this too, so forgive me. But she's going to be sharing a message of hope and how to be positive. So I'm not going to share her story. She can share her story the best way that she can. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Miss Cheryl. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tonia. I appreciate the opportunity.
I love
Basically,
having you here. I'm sorry. You have to forgive me. This is the first time back to New Year. So I was like, new show, new beginning, new challenges. But like I said, I want to bring on Miss Cheryl, and I would love for you to introduce who you are and some of your amazing story, and we can dive more into the conversation from there.
that sounds good. Thank you. My name is Cheryl Wortley, and I'm a retired librarian. I retired in 2019, and which is a year ago now, which is hard to believe. My story really starts in 2013 when as a librarian, I was managing a library and we started a building project. In the middle of that project, my arm started shaking. And I kind of ignored it for a while, I don't have that. Nothing's going on. After a while, I couldn't cut my steak and I couldn't write. So I had to face up, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2014. So one thing I learned right away is that exercise is neuroprotective. The more you exercise, the more you protect your brain, which people don't think about, but you need to think about why you're exercising. So in 2019, my mom passed away. And then that was the year of a long illness for me. And it really took everything out of me, and I ended up retiring from the library. I lost all my stamina. I had built up a really great exercise routine. I was really fit, and then I got sick. So I basically 2019 was a bad year, and I did recover, and I couldn't exercise. I lost all my stamina. I lost all my strength, and that's when I had to retire. And I couldn't even work the front desk like for a half hour. There's no way. So I had to build back slowly, and I started with stretching and then yoga, and then I built up a walk. My friends and family would take me on a walk. And I could walk. One of my friends still says, Cheryl, you could only walk 25 feet. It's like, oh yeah. And now we go on long, it's like a mile or more.
Right.
So basically, I started slow and built back up. And then when we went to Hawaii, I was fit and I was ready to exercise. I was able to do the trip. In 2020, I'm back to exercising 5 to 6 days a week, I would say. And the more I exercise, the stronger I become. And the stronger I become, the more I want to exercise. It's kind of like it feeds itself, which I would encourage people to get to that level. And it doesn't happen on day one is the problem. It starts in day 50, where you get hooked on exercise and you want to move. And what I discovered about Parkinson's was you need to move. You need to get up and move. There are, like, if you have a bad shaky day, people like to sit through that. I find that if I get up and walk, it stops. The shaking stops. And, I've had times where I could skip my medicine through an exercise class. I take it right after, but when I exercise, the tremors stop, the shaking stops. So it behooves me to exercise. So I think just people need to get up and move in general. Like, it's good for everybody to get up and move and exercise.
Right.
And one of my goals is to motivate others to exercise and help them understand why they're doing it. There are three three studies that are evaluating exercise in Parkinson's, and they all come up with the same result. In Pennsylvania, they I lost my thought. They did a study on treadmills, and 3 people had like immediate results where they could tell the difference between their walking, and 10 people could increase their walking, improve their balance and their longer strides. Then in Cleveland, there's a doctor who's doing a study on cycling, and he says there's an aerobic benefit and you increase your motor function by exercising. And then there's a third study that I found in California where the people with Parkinson's who exercised could move normally, and those that didn't were not moving normally. So the difference, these studies are, and I'm sure there's more out there. I just haven't had time to exercise. I haven't had time to evaluate them yet. But the point is that you need to exercise to help you get through Parkinson's.
Right.
It will help you every single day if you exercise every single day. I take a day off or two. I work out 5 to 6 days a week. So the research is out there that supports that you should exercise, and the basic thing is get up and move. And you have to start where you are. What is available to you that day? Not everybody's at the same level. You can't start out running a marathon. I can't run a marathon. I can't run.
Not either.
I can run. I discovered that. So, but you start out slow, do some stretching, maybe do some yoga, and then take a little walk around the block. If you can't walk, do chair yoga. I'm on YouTube, which is wonderful. I love YouTube. Caroline Jordan has a lot of chair yoga, chair aerobics, chair stretches. That she's a fitness instructor and she's certified in physical fitness. So she has really quality exercises, and she's on YouTube and she's free.
Right.
So she has a wonderful website, which if you need chair yoga, that I would go to that one.
Right. I just really want to, I love how you're really emphasizing the exercise portion. And this is really where I would like to, before we dive more into like how this really help you shift your hope level and stuff like that. I want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying what Cheryl is dropping and you're picking them up, give us a thumbs up. Remember, hit that like button down there. Yes. And we're going to dive more into how has she turned to exercise into more of the hope and the positive side of it. So again, Ms. Cheryl, I didn't want to cut you off, but I want to really emphasize that, you know, you're making really great points that I think, maybe people are not really hearing, because it's, the Parkinson's is what makes you do the exercise, but some people have other things that are other ailments, or don't even have ailments or of their own, and or are not even taking the benefit of exercise. So I really wanted to make that point for those who are listening, that she's dropping some golden nuggets and you probably need to be picking them up about the exercise. So before we go back on to Miss Cheryl, I know you were going to talk about how did this transfer into your hope and your positive message that you want to share. So can you tell a little bit about how exercise is really giving you a whole new fresh look on how you do things?
It helps me, it keeps me grounded. It makes me feel better. And when you feel better, you act better. You can do more things. Instead of sitting on the couch and eating my potato chips and watching a movie and shaking like crazy, I'm out there, I'm moving. I actually ran the other day, and I'm trying to learn jump rope again. So I'm out there, I'm trying to do stuff. It makes me feel good. And when you feel good, you look good, as they say. And when you look good, you just look good. And it gives you this drive inside to keep going, and it makes, in a weird way, it makes Parkinson's easier. And I believe it would work for other ailments as well. Because when you exercise, you feel better. As long as you do it safely, which we're assuming that everybody's going to be safe. So you exercise, you feel better, you do more, you feel better, you get stronger. I have a yoga instructor now that's really encouraging me, and he does gentle nudges, and I can do more than I've ever done before. I'm getting stronger, which makes me more motivated, and it's just a big circle. And that brings me to having hope that I can live through Parkinson's. I can do my best. I can do anything I want to do. Nothing's going to stop me because I'm stronger, physically stronger than I ever was before. I came back from the illness, and I had to start over again. I had to walk slow, but here I am. I do aerobics. I do cardio kickboxing. I do yoga. I love yoga. Yoga is the best. If anybody doesn't do, they should do yoga. The stretching, the moving, the down dogs, they're wonderful.
Right.
So and
Cheryl, like said, I love what you're talking about, because I think another nugget that I think a lot of people didn't pick up on is you didn't have to go out to go find a lot of stuff. We already have a lot of these resources right at hand, like you mentioned YouTube. How valuable is that?
I get most of my exercise videos are on YouTube, to be honest. They're free. You don't have to buy a DVD. You don't have to buy a subscription. You should subscribe with a little bell, but there's a million of them. There's a million yoga, and anything you look up. If you want to do strength training, which I'm working on strength training right now, adding that to my regimen. You can do yoga. Leslie Sanzone does just a walking. She has DVDs, but she's on YouTube as well. And she has four moves that she does to get people to exercise. And she makes you walk a mile. And, start with that. It's easy because you go forward and back and lift a leg and kick a little bit, and you've done some exercise.
Right.
And that's where you got to start. You got to start at the beginning. And I can find anything on YouTube. And there's just so many exercise videos. It's incredible. I'm a fan of Pop Sugar right now because they're challenging me, and I'm looking for challenge. So they're very enjoyable, and they show modifications. And I think that's important to find an exercise video that has the modifications, because not all of us can jump. I can jump a little bit, but I can't jump the way they're jumping or kick my leg as high as they are, but I can keep up with them. And I couldn't before.
Right. Well, I know we're going to tap into a little bit more of like where people can find you, and maybe share some of your insight that you have, because I know you have a website and you really turn this into a business. Yep. But really, what's the one thing you really want the audience to take away that, if they don't hear anything else that you have today, what's the one thing you want them to really hear what you're saying?
I want them to not give up. I want them to have hope. I want them to believe they can move. I think people get stuck in general, not just Parkinson's people, but I have an ailment. I'm sick. I'm tired. Well, if you get off your tush and you get up and move, guess what? You won't feel tired. It's magic. It's just, I get so much energy, and I'm learning that in my day with Parkinson's, there's a lot of fatigue. So, but something magical happens when I exercise. I get more energy afterwards, and then I can do whatever the task was that I wanted to do. So it it offers me more hope for the day and for getting through Parkinson's and being able to do things. That's really important to me, and having mobility, not losing mobility. Exercise will do that for you. If with your balance and your coordination, it'll help you. All of it will help you through your day and get you stronger, which I think is the goal. And what were we going to talk about the website, right?
Yeah, well, that leads us into the next question, because the question is like, where can people find more information about you, your services, and what you offer?
I developed a website through the year COVID. This fall. It's inside-parkinsons.com. Inside-parkinsons.com. And my thought of that is that I'm looking inside the Parkinson's view and showing it to people. I'm pretty frank on there. I get pretty in depth, and I share a lot of my feelings on there. I get into things like gratitude, acceptance, perspective, yoga, exercise. I talk about acceptance a lot because there's so many things I think life is like that, but you get to a certain level and you've accepted that this has come your way. This is a new symptom. Well, then guess what? There's another one. So then you got to accept that. So acceptance is kind of a big deal on my website. I have one of my latest blog posts is called Move It, Move It. You have to get up and move it, move it. That's one of my goals. So, I have a weekly blog, and it comes out on Mondays, and I talk about whatever's on my mind, or I've looked internal a lot, and kind of talk about the deeper things like gratitude and hope. And I try to give people positive message, one that gives them hope. And some of my things do not apply just to Parkinson's, like gratitude. And everybody could use gratitude. We could all be more grateful. I try to remember to be grateful every day, and that's important. Mm-hmm. Hope is important, mm-hmm. And I try to give people something positive to take with them with their day, something to make them go, Right. And I think we do. And I have a resource page. Okay. And I also have a page with my support group. I call it a networking group, and it's called Working with Parkinson's. And you can find out what's going on with my support group. We meet monthly through Zoom if you're interested in that. It's a younger group of people that are all active, that are really looking for answers on how to get through Parkinson's.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Cheryl, for sharing a wealth of knowledge and stuff like that. And we're just about out of time. So again, I would love to have you come back on, maybe share a little bit more about your story and how people can get more information about Parkinson's. If you'd like to come back on, you're always welcome.
Sure, I would love to.
And I also want to remind everybody who tuned in that feedback is always welcome. Remember, emails, any guests and show ideas that you have. All of the information that Cheryl mentioned will be posted down there in the description box. So please make sure you check down there below, because we got some juicy gems. And please, thank you again for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know. Give us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And if you like, give us some feedback. And remember, if you're enjoying all the insight, like what Cheryl has dropped today and all the ones who have come on before, who are coming on later, please consider hitting that subscribe button over there. And remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, and create your own path. And we'll see you back here on another episode of Coffee with Tea. So you have a great day.
Thank you, Tonia.
Share with us, what was one of your takeaways from today's show? Post your answers in the comments.